Well, that's why automating with less IT reliance is going to be helpful. And so how you go about doing that is where no code comes into the conversation. Now, if you've never heard of no code, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a platform that allows teams to create business logic and create automations, build mobile apps, for example, and user experiences and interfaces without having to have technical expertise. So people like Linda can come in here and use drag and drop features to create workflows and automations that relate to how she does business. And it automates that for her. And then what it does as well is it sucks in all the data from your other solutions, right? Your Finserv, your CRM, whatever other existing solutions you have to inform those automations. And the tool that we mostly like using for this is Creatio. They've got all the analyst recommendations from Gardner and Forrester and Nucleus for no code specifically for automation, because their whole spiel is, look, we don't want to overcomplicate this. It's already pretty complicated. You should be able to take this one platform and use it to automate all your industry workflows without having to code anything. And that's working for them in over 100 countries around the world. So here's just some ways that our customers are using no code, particularly with Creatio. One of our customers has focused in on recommendations and referrals between departments. So they're capturing details and sending referrals off and routing them automatically based on department needs. Now, they're also doing some manual routing, which doesn't have to be a bad thing. You can create this hybrid model. The reason they're bringing manual into the conversation is because there are some referrals that they feel need human eyes on it before they can make a decision, yay or nay, that it needs to be routed. And so they set up both of those automations to either send it to the appropriate person who has to give it the okay before it gets sent off, or if it fits in a different category, it's going to be automatically routed. That's giving them a lot of visibility and management of those referral sources and making sure that everything's happening in time as it should be. We've got another customer. We come back to this AI conversation who's automating their offers and referrals for products and services. What did we say earlier? You want to limit how many offers that you're providing to 2 to 3. They can look at these AI recommendations and make informed decisions about what would be best for that particular customer in the moment. Automated referral resolution. All this data is great. We love data, but we also don't want to create data clutter, and we don't want to create any additional confusion. So one of our customers is particularly focused on trying to set up timeframes and corresponding automations that will expire referrals if they are not met in a certain designated zone. Or instead of having people have to manually go into the system and say, oh, I just converted this referral in, they bought this XYZ cross-sell product, the system's going to automatically do that for them so that they don't have to even think about it. And then we also have one customer that is very focused on cross-sell bonuses. And so what they needed was a dashboard where their management could identify these referrals and look at really quick snapshots of which teams are doing the best right now, which individuals in those teams are doing the best, and how can I use this data to calculate what these bonuses are going to be this quarter. Why are these companies finding success with this model? Well, a couple of reasons. One, as I mentioned, the automations are blessed by IT. IT has given the stamp of approval, but they are not overburdened trying to manage these automations. That is up to these individuals in sales, in marketing, and in customer service. Linda and her team are in there managing their automation for their digital loans on their own. and they're matching it to the way that they work and the way that makes sense for them. These individuals without this technical knowledge who are doing these actions are referred to as citizen developers in this no-code world. They are regular, everyday users in different departments that are making these moves. Digital transformation is therefore easier to access across branches because they can duplicate models that work. So when you get that challenge of, hey, you know, we got so many acquisitions and mergers going on, they're coming in with their own systems and their own processes. You want to align everybody to a standardized approach of how to do something. If Linda and her team are finding, hey, we are killing it with this cross-sell model between loans and HELOCs over here, and we just acquired company ABC, you can duplicate that model in company ABC. You can grab whatever data company ABC is using in their systems and bring it into the no-code solution to further inform and educate that model. And now everyone's working from the same properties. Everyone has a standardized approach to how they're doing something. At the end of the day, that's providing value to their customers. These product suggestions are timely, they're personalized, they don't feel aggressive, and customers are like, hey, I feel empowered, I feel good. I'm gonna come and take action on this cross-sell opportunity you've presented to me when I feel ready, but I'm armed with the knowledge at the right time in my life, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to hand the floor over to Megan shortly to show us how exactly this might look in a real-world situation. But before I do, I just want to answer some FAQs that we often get about getting started with no code, what that's all about, and what it entails. So how many people do I need to implement and manage this? Well, what's great about it is that choice is yours. You can do one, you could do 1,000. Most of our customers like to have individual teams that implement their own automations, and they might have one team leader who says, excuse me, okay, I'm in charge of putting it into the system, but we as a group are working together to decide what that process should look like first. How much does it typically cost? Implementation services can range widely based on the scope and how much you plan to use your own resources. We've completed projects as low as $10,000 and as high as $1.2 million. I can tell you for Creatio specifically, their licenses start at $60 a user per month for cloud and $50 a user per month if you want that on premises. How long does it take to get up and running? It can be up and running in a month. Again, part of that will be determined by, hey, what other processes and are we doing integrations here? Are we bringing in other data? What is the bigger scope of our digital transformation project? But in general, pretty much 1 month, you're good to go. Does it work with our existing software? I think I mentioned this before, but I want to just reemphasize the whole point of no code technology is that that platform is acting as a catch-all to bring in data from your other systems and inform the machine learning, the AI, and the automation necessary to execute what you want to execute. So yes, it does work with other platforms, Finservs applications, CRMs, and more detailed industry-specific solutions. Yes, yes, yes. What if we don't know the processes we need? That is okay. We actually get that a lot. That's where we can come in. We know the questions to ask to get to the heart of the problem you're trying to solve, and we'll help you figure it out. As we mentioned before, having this bigger vision of what you want to do with your automations and what you want to do with your digital transformation is a great place to start. What we can do is we do what's called a strategic discovery call. We just get on the phone with you and we find out, all right, give us the lowdown. Tell us what's going on with your business. Tell us what you envision for yourselves, big picture. And then we shave away at that and shave away at it and shave away at it until we figure out exact use cases for how you're going to apply no code to make that happen. And we set that all up for you. We help you define it in a way that is strategic and that is going to be scalable for the future. So that's where our expertise comes in. You don't need that to go into this process, especially if you don't have a huge IT team to implement it. That's where we can assist you. And then, will we need training? If so, how long will that take? Teams will need a bit of additional training to learn how the system works. We provide that as well as long-term support. If you get questions that come up later, or you run into any sort of technical concerns, that can take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months, depending on how many team members you're trying to get up to speed and the complexity of what you're trying to build. But, you know, that training again is for Linda in the mortgage department and her team. Maybe we're training Linda and her team one week. Maybe we're training Bob and the sales team another week. And we're just getting everybody aligned to how are you specifically going to be using this solution for what you're doing.